I am Daniel Lucas, and welcome to Abstract Essay, where ideas take shape, thoughts find depth, and every conversation explores the art of thinking beyond the obvious. And today I have my special guest, one of her advocacy to make wealth mindset be better of what we are thinking, no other than Miss Monica Kaufman.
Hi there. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Welcome, Miss Monica. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I missed?
Okay, so my name is Monica Kaufman. I've been a financial advisor for a long time. I am a CFP. And a few years ago, I joined Harmony Wealth Management and I serve as Director of Financial Planning. We're an RIA, which means we're fee-for-service fiduciary asset management. But my love is working with people and helping people shift how they think and feel and act, therefore, with their money so that they can actually get to their goals or get there faster or get there with more comfort with the risk that they're carrying. I want clients to be in control over their financial freedom. If you're not in control over your money, you're not truly free.
Yes, everybody, for sure. I myself, I want my financial freedom. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Miss Monica. And today, let's talk about wealth mindset. It's not what you think it is. So tell us, wealth mindset is not what you think it is. What is the single biggest misconception people have about wealth?
So they think that the people who are truly wealthy, other than, for example, there's some people who need to project that, but the vast majority of millionaires in the United States are self-made. So in other words, it's their generation. They did it. And they literally don't live the lifestyle you would expect. They're not the ones driving the most expensive cars. They're not the ones with the biggest, most expensive houses. They tend to not care what other people think, so they don't care if you like their purse or they don't care if you like your bag. So they buy good quality and they maintain it, but they're not trying to impress. So it's interesting. People talk, oh, well, this guy projects wealth. He has this car, he has this or that. And the reality is I've met plenty of people that you would never guess have the money that they have. They're so comfortable in their skin that they don't need to try to impress you. They don't care.
And go ahead, Ms. Monica.
No, please.
So how is true mindset fundamentally different from simply thinking positive or visualizing a lottery win?
Okay, so let's be honest. I would love to win a Powerball. Okay, and I'm the first person that when the jackpot goes up, I will buy a ticket. I'll admit it, and I'll then go through the mental exercise of how much would I get after taxes and what would I do with it and where would it go. Okay, and I think about the charity, but I also think about the investments, and I do that. But that's entertainment for a small price. The real wealth is built over controlling your emotions and looking at money as a resource to be harnessed, protected, harnessed, and used to build. And so, for example, they've done research on mindset. And there are basically 4 archetypes that describe the mindset towards money. It could be fear. It could be it is status. It could be money worship. Or it could be sort of a money scarcity, money tool. I want to build something with it. And the reality is that 99% of us are going to fall into multiple categories here. We're going to take pieces from different ones. But the different archetypes, the 3 that aren't helpful, that get in people's way, show up in a variety of different ways. It shows up in not looking at the bills. It shows up in not paying them on time. It shows up in not looking at the bank account or the credit score. Okay. It shows up for those people that they don't believe they deserve it, where they undersell their products or they undersell their value to an employer. They stay in a job for too long. They don't take the risks that would allow them to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to negotiate and see if I can get more because I believe I'm worth more. There are the people who think that money brings happiness. And let's be honest, when you don't have money, it's a problem. But money doesn't make you happy. Being happy and being around the people that matter makes you happy. And most of the people who are truly financially successful, who build the wealth where they are financially free, really understand this. They understand that there are a lot of things that really make an impact or that are really enjoyable that don't cost a lot of money. So can I give you an example of one?
Yes, go ahead, Miss Monica.
So I had the chance and the privilege of mentoring some people when they were new to the industry. And one of them in particular, when he went to get married, at one point they were starting to save for a house. And he looked at his budget and he said, I can't save up the down payment. And I said, what's the problem? What's getting in your way? What's the biggest thing you need to make a shift on? And when they looked at how much they were spending by category, he realized that he and his friends, he and their friends were going out for dinner a lot. They were going to bars. They were spending a lot of money there. And I said, okay, tell me about your friends. Are they in the same stages of life? And he said, yes, basically. All right. So do they want to buy houses? Well, I don't know. Why don't you talk to them and see if they want to buy houses too? And maybe you guys can come up with an accommodation. So maybe instead of going to restaurants and bars every weekend, you would go once a month, okay, to a restaurant or a bar. But other than that, you'd meet on the weekends and you'd trade houses or places, and everybody would bring something. Maybe everybody would bring something to eat and something to drink, and you'll spend a heck of a lot less if you do it that way than if you go out for it. And they all seem to agree. And that's another piece. You need to surround yourself with people who are determined to use money to build something instead of trying to project something. So you have to really, in a real sense, have a vision of where you want to go.
Yes.
And believe that you can get there.
Interesting, Miss Monica. So how can you compare our topic for today about your company, Harmony Wealth Academy?
I became determined to do this, especially after the COVID shutdown. I saw so much fear on the faces of people. And then the first week of the shutdown, I think I had 42 appointments. The second week of the shutdown, I had 44 appointments. And I just didn't want to see this go on. I've seen too many people make a tremendous amount of money and at the end of their careers not have much to show for it. And then I've seen people who didn't make a lot of money build wealth and build out their financial freedom. And just for the audience's perspective, financial freedom is where whether you work or whether you don't, you can still live the life you want to live and your goals are funded. So it's when work becomes optional or when every day is Saturday. And
I like that.
I mean, well, here's the thing. We use these terms and they're jargony and I hate them. So what are we talking about with mindset? What do you think we're talking about?
We're talking about financial freedom as the whole thing.
Well, okay, that's
every
true.
day Saturday.
But when we're talking about wealth mindset, we're talking about the lens through which you view or your emotions guide you to judge how to use money and how to interface with the world. Money's just a set of tools in your hand. What do you want to build with it? And when I look at people and their money, I'm like, okay, what's going on inside of them that's leading them to this place? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Are they in a good place? You cannot go anywhere that your mind hasn't gone before you. So one of the things that we do in the program is we work on a couple of things. One, understanding what risk is and understanding how to use risk, how to manage risk, and how to see it and how to deal with it. And sometimes that means you walk away from certain things, but sometimes it means you walk to certain things. And I want people to understand what it is so that they can make good decisions for themselves. And then we work on risk, and then we work on how do you shift your thinking. And we also work on doing an assessment of where they are in terms of their mindset. What pieces are coming into their lives? How do they view money? How do they behave? How does it show up in their lives? And then we talk about a real science-based approach towards shifting how you think. And while we do that, we build out a lot of the mindset that allows people to go to success. So we walk through different stages and different techniques, and it really is based on the psychology of this. And while we're doing that, we then help people at the same time build up some financial defenses and then start building out, build the foundation, pay down the debt, build up the emergency fund, and start understanding what investments are, what taxes are, what the retirement system looks like, the planning retirement system, and the estate planning system. And when I talk about estate planning, I got to say something. Estate planning is not really about passing on this big mansion or passing on this big piece of land. What it really is the catch-all phrase for you having control over what happens to you from now until the day you're no longer with us, and then you having control and stating what you want to happen to the assets and things you leave behind and how you take care of the people you care about the most. That's really all it's about. I want the control in your hands and not in anybody else's hands. I want you to make the decisions that matter to you and to protect the people you want to protect. And that includes yourself, by the way.
Thank you for including me, Miss Monica. And why is it common advice to just
I'm sorry?
think rich? Why is it common advice to just think rich often ineffective or even harmful for people?
There are no shortcuts in life. And we know from several years, several decades worth of research that started with the book, The Millionaire Next Door. That was groundbreaking because he actually found people who could demonstrate outside of their houses that they were worth $1 million over 3 decades ago. So what he found was that they didn't take the shortcuts. They were not the ones wearing the designer clothes. They were not the ones with the flashy cars. They typically drove a pickup truck, which is hilarious now because pickup trucks are so expensive. But they were not the ones who are walking around trying to project out what they had. One of them turned around and said, there are a lot of people who are all hat and no cattle, which is a great phrase down here. And the problem is people want the shortcut. They want the short approach. I wish there was a shortcut, but there isn't. You have to learn how to manage your emotions, shift your behavior, and you have to learn how to use the system. If you don't know how to use the system and you can't manage your emotions, you'll be like the lottery winner who gets the jackpot and can't keep it.
Miss Monica, it's not about a magical thinking. What are the core components of a genuine wealth mindset? Is it more
Okay,
about belief, habits, or actions?
belief creates action. So belief creates the values and the values shape the action. So you have to look at what the beliefs are and you have to challenge them. Does this belief reflect reality and is it getting me to where I want to go or does it not? So belief based on what is money? Is it a tool? Is it a sign of status? Is it what determines my net worth? Is it something to be afraid of that I don't deserve? Psychologists will state that we have these beliefs about money that affect us whether we're aware of them or not, and they're established and written by the parents around us and the experiences we have, and that by basically age 7. And then afterwards, all your experiences confirm and harden those beliefs. So understanding what they are and calling them out and saying, this is what this is, and this is what it does to me, and this is how it doesn't help me. And shifting that is not easy, but it can be done. It's learning that, for example, money is a tool. Okay. And, challenging the beliefs that you don't deserve success or you don't deserve to have money or that money is something that's bad. You can't give charity and help other people if you can't provide for your own needs. You can't educate your children or contribute to the common good if you can't take care of yourself. Money isn't about status. A lot of people have a tremendous amount of money and aren't interested in trying to project out status. It's really a very interesting conundrum. Money is just a tool. It should not be worshipped. Money should be respected and cared for and used to grow and to build. So my question is, if you had your druthers, can you imagine where you want to be in 5 years? Can you describe it?
Be a successful podcaster and number one on the Apple chart.
Okay, so what would that look like? Describe where you are when you're doing your podcasting. Not to me, you don't have to do it to me, but I want you to think about what that would look like what your workday would look like, who would be around you, what would the studio look like, what would it smell like, what are the colors, what would it feel like, what would it feel like to do your job and to do what you do and to build all that out.
Well, right now I'm doing everyday live streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Every day I'm doing my publishing everyday episodes, and I make sure I have this strategy of advertising in each social media that
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing right now.
Okay. So how many people watch your podcast? How many people are going to watch this?
For sure, for all the live streaming right now, I can see I have like 30 plus watching right now.
Mm-hmm.
And for the podcast itself, every day I do have 5,000 downloads, which is I'm
Oh,
aiming
wow.
for like 10,000 or 10,000 downloads every day for the next 5 years.
How many podcasts do you do a day?
I do have like right now I have 13 podcasts. So for 9 of them are active, which is Book 101 review and abstract essay. I do everyday publishing. I do
Okay.
daily publish. For the rest, I do 2 times
So
uh,
you do abstract essay how many times a day?
every day.
No,
Do
you do it
publish.
every day, but do
Yes,
you just do one a day or do you multiple ones a day?
multiple ones. It depends for my booking. If I have like 5 abstract essay and a 5 for book 101 review, so I do them all
Okay. So,
according to my booking list.
okay. Okay. So, like, how many people total do you think will download this at some point?
For some point, once I publish it, because I want to maintain that 5,000 downloads every day for sure. The moment next month I will publish this on the podcast, probably 6,000, because I want
Uh,
to increase just every month 1,000 downloads.
Okay, that's great. And I think that's a great tool. That's a great goal. And you've got a method and a plan to execute, and you're executing on it. So here's the thing. I want you to stretch and tell me what would that mean to your income if you were to achieve when you achieve that goal?
Well, I want my income right now for the future income, you meant to
Yes.
say?
You don't have to give me
Probably.
the absolute number. Just tell me how much it would grow.
Well,
Percent.
by 10%.
Okay. Tell me what that would mean to your lifestyle. How much, you don't have to tell me this. I'm just saying, I want you to think about you doing the work. And then I want you to think about what your lifestyle would look like. Who's going to be with you? Who's going to be part of your team, personally, professionally? And what I would ask you to do is I would ask you, it's called a future self vision. I want you to imagine yourself doing those things that get you there and what life looks like. And write out a very persuasive couple paragraphs, write it out by hand, and as if you're telling the story of your day and the story of your life. And I want you, and I want it to be where you want to be, not where you are now. So that I want you to use that creative future self vision. And then what we do with some of these future self visions is we have people read them into their phone, record themselves telling it. And I want you to listen to it every night before you go to sleep and every morning when you get up. I want you to start programming your mind that you're doing these steps. I want you to visualize the steps, visualize the progress, and visualize what it's like to have 10,000 downloads a day and to have a business that generates that.
Wow, I will do that, Miss Monica, for sure, and I will read by myself. Even I'm so busy every day. I'll make sure it's a part of my habit early in
But
the
the thing is,
morning.
the habits need to be short and sweet. One of the things that we do with the program is we teach each step of the way, the emotional support pieces, as well as the goal setting, as well as the material where we're talking about financial defenses, structural defenses, like simple things like powers of attorney. What happens if you're injured? Who has the right to deal with the insurance on your behalf? Who has the right to deal with your employer on your behalf? Those types of things. Medical power of attorney. Who has the right to implement and advise the doctors on your medical care? Little things like that can be significant. We talk about how to use your benefits correctly so that you maximize your impact for the lower cost to do it that way. And then we build on, for example, we teach you how to manage leverage or debt. Okay. Debt should be used for an investment purpose other than for your house, your primary residence. It should be used for an investment purpose. Your house is not an investment. The house you live in is the roof over your head. Okay. And we walk through that with people. They need to learn the system and they need to develop what I call it's sort of a financial version of grit. Angela Duckworth is a psychologist very well known who developed this concept of grit, and I have my own financial version of it. And the way I look at it is it's gratitude, resilience, instincts, and tenacity. And your instincts to make decisions or what you want to invest in, what you want to do with your money, how you want to handle it, and the team you want to hire to execute for you and to work with you. You are the captain of your own ship. You get to decide who has what role and who's on the ship and where the ship's going. Those instincts have to be developed over time, and you have to learn and go through the process of learning how these things flow and how you're comfortable with it and how you're not. I want people to become what I call financially anti-fragile. So when you talk about resilience, what do you think that means? It's another jargon word.
Yeah. Resilience for me is the ability to cope up when you are down easily.
Absolutely. That's a perfect definition. I agree with it 100%. But the problem with resilience is, yes, you get knocked down and you get back up, but you move forward. What I want people to do is to build up their defenses that they don't get knocked down, or if they do, they get up really quickly. Or maybe instead of getting knocked down, they're stopped for a few seconds, but they continue really quickly on their forward momentum. And what I want people to do is to look at challenges or things that are hard or decisions that are hard. And I want them to become anti-fragile, where they use opportunities that others are afraid of. They use it strategically to get stronger. I want you to be in control. There are some people who were able to invest in the real estate market as investors when the market was down. They had the resources, they had the leverage, they had the knowledge, they had the comfort zone. They made a fortune because they bought when everything was really low.
Yes.
You want to be able to intelligently take advantage of the opportunities in front of you within your ethics. I'm not asking you to be, predatory. But what I'm saying is do what you need to do. And you have to build out those instincts over time. Tenacity is the ability to hold on when things get tough. And that takes systems, and that takes emotional strength, and that takes understanding, and it takes a lot of self-control. But if you have confidence and you know what you're doing and you trust your team, and your team is working for you and you're confident that they understand your goals and your values and your limits, it's a lot easier to move forward. So it's a
Yes.
mental framework first before you can actually master it, but you do have to understand the system. There will come a time in the US when it will be very difficult for the average person to get a hold of a really good qualified financial advisor. They're going to wind up dealing with robos, or they're going to wind up being assigned to people. They're not going to have access to help. And a lot of financial advisors don't guide on anything other than investments because that's where they get paid. So people aren't getting the help that they need. And they look, and there are some people who are just built out where they can read a book and implement, or they can read a book and listen to a podcast and they can go do. And for those people, I'm really glad, go. I think that's great. But there are other people who need coaching and they need somebody to help them move forward. And that's what we're providing with the Academy.
Move forward indeed. And Miss Monica, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my Abstract Essay is already in 5th season. Abstract Poetry in 2nd season. And my Book 101 Review in 5th season too. Comedy 101 in 2nd season. And my Food 101 in 5th season as well. Geography 101 in 4th season. And my baby podcast, Law 101 and Mental Health 101 Love Letters in 3rd season, and Movie 101 Review and Music 101 in 4th season, and Science 101 and Sex 101 in its 1st season. Please
That's
listen
amazing.
to them.
You're a powerhouse.
Wherever you
are a
listen.
powerhouse. You are a machine, and you are awesome.
Thank you.
Spend your days talking to people about the things you're interested in.
Thank you, Miss Monica. So finally, what is one takeaway you want people have about wealth mindset truly is, and how to begin cultivating it today?
Okay, so I want you to sit down. I have a sprint that I'm going to be running. And the sprint talks about the different mental archetypes, the different mind scripts. And it allows people, it's 5 minutes a day, a video, and then you just go and look at this. And if you have somebody that you can talk to who will hold that loving mirror up to you, who wants the best for you, who's not going to let you slide, they'll go through that with you. The biggest thing is to understand the beliefs that hold you back. And they may be that money doesn't grow on trees, that money is not something for you, that we don't make money, that we can't do this, that this is complicated, that we do as we're told with money. No, there are lots of different things that are out there, that money is status and it's a sign of, different things. Money is a tool. And I want you to understand that you don't have to stay stuck. Whatever it is that's holding you back, you do not have to stay there. So if you're interested in the sprint, I will make sure that there is a link, and you can do that and test us out and see what we're like. But it's a 5-day sprint. It's simple, easy. It's 5 days. It's 5 days through, 5 minutes at a time. And hopefully you'll have a better understanding of where you need to go or what you need to get rid of and let go of.
Yes, let's support Miss Monica Kaufman. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So can you please invite our listeners to support your Harmony Academy?
Well, thank you. It's a harmonywealthacademy.com. And I can be reached on my email, mkaufman@harmonyam.com. And we're going to have some offerings there that you'll see. But if you put in abstract essay, you'll get a significant discount on the program.
Yes, people, let's support Miss Monica Kaufman, because if you support her, for sure, more and more empowering wealth mindset to come. So Miss Monica, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Monica, people, see you soon.